Okay, today we are looking at dividing whole numbers. Dividing is breaking things up into groups. The dividend is the number being broken up into the group sizes of the divisor. So the dividend is the number inside the box, where the divisor is the number on the outside. The quotient is the answer, or number of groups that can be made out of the dividend. So a quotient is the answer to a division problem. The rules I have listed below says every number in the box needs a number above it. This helps you keep track of what numbers you have already divided into, which some students do forget which they've divided into or not. 0 is a number, so if it divides into it 0 times or makes 0 groups, you still need to reflect that 0. Today in this worksheet, we are going to be dividing until we get a remainder, not a decimal. When a division problem is written like this, which is the 542 divided by 6, the first number always goes in the box. So you need to know how to set up a division problem properly if it's not already set up for you. So if we look at this first one, practice problem number 1, I'm going to add the line in there because that wasn't already there. So it should look something like this. Okay. So our first problem is 252 divided by 6. Okay, I'm going to rewrite it down below just so I have more room to divide into it. So 252, that's a big 5, divided by 6. Okay, so if we're looking back up at our rules, it says every number in the box needs a number above it. So I have 3 numbers in the box, 252. So every number needs a number above it, so 3 numbers. I'm going to divide into one number at a time. So how many times can 6 divide into 2? So how many 6s can I pull out of 2? I'm going to change the color just to reflect that. Okay, 0. I can make 0 groups, so I'm going to reflect that 0. If I make 0 groups of 6, then I'm taking 0 away from that 2 that I divided into. So that still leaves me with a 2. The next number I need to divide into is a 5. So after that first number that you divided into, every other number after that gets brought down to whatever your remainder was. And our remainder was still that 2. We didn't take anything away. So instead of actually dividing into 5, I'm dividing into 25. So how many 6s can I pull out of 25? Remember, I want to get as close as possible without going over. So 6, 12, 18, 24, which is 4. If I did 5, that would be 30, which is too much. So I know I can make 4 groups of 6 out of 25. And I'm putting that 4 above the 5 because that's really what I'm dividing into. So that is 24. I'm going to subtract that. That means I still have 1 left over as my remainder, but I still have one more number I need to divide into. So in this case, I'm dropping it down to what I had left. Okay, I'll bring this down. So I have 6 divided into 12. So how many groups of 6 can I pull out of 12? Well, I can pull out 2 groups exactly. So dividing into the 2, so I put my group sizes up here, and 2 groups of 12 is 12. So that leaves me with nothing left over, which is fine because I'm actually done dividing. I have no other numbers to divide into, so I know I'm done. Every number in the box has a number above it, and that's when you know you're done. And I have nothing left over, so I don't have a remainder of anything. So my answer is 42. So 252 divided by 6 is 42. So if we look at problem number 2, I have 3,512. Change my colors. 3,512. And that is being divided by 9. So I'm breaking that whole group up into groups of 9. All right, so my rule is every number in the box needs a number above it. So I have 4 numbers in the box, so I need to see 4 above it. Now they're being broken down into group sizes of 9. So looking at the first number, 3, I'm dividing into 3. Can I pull a group of 9 out of it? No. So that's going to be a 0. And if I make 0 groups, I'm subtracting 0 away from it. Subtract it, so that still means I have 3. Okay. Next number I need to divide into is 5, but after that first one, it's a pattern, drops down to what your remainder is, which is a 3. So now I'm making group sizes of 9 out of 35. So how many 9s can I pull out of 35 being close without going over? 9, 18, 27. 36 would be 4, which goes over, so I can't do 36, so I can do 3. Dividing into that 5, so I put that 3 above there. So 9 groups of 3 is 27. So that's what I'm subtracting away to see what my remainder is. 5 take away 7 is not possible. I need to borrow. Makes that a 2. Makes this a 15. So what do I add to 7 to make it 10? 3, and then I need 5 more, so that's 8. And that's another clue. If your remainder is larger than what you're dividing by, then you know you can make another group. So that's kind of a clue. Sometimes that happens. All right, so 8 is a remainder, and the next number I need to divide into is 1. So I'm going to drop that down next to the 8. How many groups of 9 can I pull out of 81? Well, I know 9 times 9 is 81, so putting that 9 above the 1. 9 groups of 9 is 81. Let me bring this down. 81. So I have 0 as a remainder right now, but if I look back at my problem, I don't have a number above that 2, so that tells me I have to divide into it. So I have to drop it down and divide into it. How many groups of 9 can I pull out of 2? 0. And I have to reflect that 0, because if I didn't put that 0 up there, then I would just say I could only make 39 groups, when actually I can make 390. But if I make 0 groups of 9, that means I'm only taking 0 away. And I still have this 2, but if I look at the box, I've divided into everything. So this right here is called your remainder. So that's where you might see this little R, and then it has a 2. I divided into everything in the box. So that's 390 whole groups. And then I have, let's say, 2 people left over. So 390 with a remainder of 2. And this last problem, if I look at it, I'm missing my box, so I will add that in. Put that right there. So it should look like 124 divided by 4. So if we divide into that right now, our third problem, I'll rewrite it over here. 124 into group sizes of 4. So, following the rules, every number in the box needs a number above it. I have 3 numbers in the box, and they're being broken into group sizes of 4. So dividing into 1, how many groups of 4 can I pull out of 1? 0. So 0 groups, I know I'm going to take 0 away. I'm not taking anything away. I still have the 1, that's my remainder. Next number I'm dividing into is 2. So the pattern, everything after that gets dropped down to the remainder. How many groups of 4 can I pull out of 12? 4, 8, 12. 3 even groups. 3 groups of 4 is 12. Subtract that away. Means I have nothing left over, but I'm not done, because if you look up in your box, I still have one number that needs a value above it. So that's your clue that it needs to be dropped down, and I need to divide into it. So 4. Dividing by 4, how many groups of 4 can I make if I have 4 people? I can make one whole group. It goes about 4. One whole group of 4 is exactly 4. And I subtract it away. I have nothing left over. Let me check up here. There's no other numbers I need to divide into. I don't have a remainder, and if you don't have a remainder, you do not do this. Don't put a remainder of 0. I don't need that. Only when I have something left over. So my answer for number 3 is 31. I can make 31 whole groups. So I hope this helps you with the rules for dividing whole numbers.